So when I asked him, I said, how do you go about acquiring that many properties? How do you qualify for that? And his answer was, other people's money.
OPM. Love those words, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we decided to go ahead and refinance that property.
Nice.
And it came back appraised about $50,000 more than what we had totally invested into it. So we refinanced that. We put that onto a home equity line of credit so I can use to move forward. And it's with that home equity line of credit that we're able to purchase our 3 properties in 2022.
Wow, 3 properties. Welcome to the Investor Mel and Dave Real Deals Show. My guest today is Roger Pelletier, and he's going to be sharing how he purchased 7 units in a year using the BRRRR strategy. He shares as well how you don't necessarily have to buy these huge, expensive places to grow your portfolio. And you're going to want to make sure to stay till the end where we analyze one of his deals. And if you don't know who I am yet, Dave and I have purchased over 240 units in 5 different countries: Canada, US, Dominican Republic, Mexico, and Costa Rica. And if you love real estate and you're not following yet, then make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell to be notified, because Dave and I produce lots of real estate investing content. We specialize in buying properties using none of your own money and without joint venture partners. Let's get started. Roger Pelletier, thank you so much and welcome to the Real Deals Show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to speak with you. So please tell our listeners a little bit about yourself. Where are you located? And when did you become a real estate investor?
Well, I'm based out of New Brunswick. So I'm just on the southern part of New Brunswick, just about 10 minutes away from St. John, little community called Quispamsis. And my real estate investing journey started, I would say, back in 2016, when I didn't even realize I was investing into real estate at the time. I had bought a semi-detached property for my daughter going to university, because we were looking for rental properties back then and for her to go to university. And it was a lot of not very good places to rent for quite a bit of money. So I decided, you know what, let's just buy a property and she can stay there. And then once she's done her university, we'll sell it. And if we break even, at least we'll still be ahead of the game.
Right. Okay.
Right. So the good news is that we ended up, fast forward 5 years later, 2021, market was hot. My daughter finished university, and then we sold the property for about $85,000 more than what we had paid for it.
Wow.
And about the only thing that we put into it was a coat of paint on a couple of walls. So it was really good.
So that paid for her university.
Yeah, it was absolutely. Right.
Oh,
so it was great.
That's fantastic. Congrats. Okay, so that's a great way to get started. It was a very positive transaction, obviously, and she had a nice place to live while she was away. Okay, so you started off with that, sold the property, and what happened next?
So then I would say more consciously, we started investing back in 2020. As the pandemic was kicking into gear, we purchased another semi-detached. It's just about 5 minutes from our house. And what we did is we used the equity on our private home to purchase this property. So at the time, we paid $150,000 for the property. We gutted the basement. We made a nice 2-bedroom apartment out of the basement. Upstairs just needed, lipstick renos. It was a 3-bedroom apartment upstairs. We put about $140,000 into renovations, and we did most of the work ourselves on that. After we completed all of that, we got it rented out, and then we thought to ourselves, we need to do more of this. It was pretty good, right? So at that time, I was speaking to a colleague of mine that's out of Montreal, and he owned over 100 different doors. So when I asked him, I said, how do you go about acquiring that many properties? How do you qualify for that? And his answer was, other people's money.
OPM. Love those words. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So I said, what are you talking about, right? He didn't have time to discuss more. So I went online, I kind of looked up a little bit, but nowhere to lie. Within the same day, after just talking about that, our phones listen to us, right? Mm-hmm. Everything was popping up on my screen about OPM. And so I looked into it a little bit more. And then before you know it, all of this Mel and Dave start popping up.
And then I started stalking you nonstop till you paid attention.
Absolutely, right? So I looked into it, and then after pondering about it a little bit, decided to plunge, and I joined the Action family in September of 2021.
September 2021. Okay, that's great. Okay, so September 2021, because you wanted to learn, you knew the value of real estate investing, but you wanted to scale.
Absolutely.
Obviously at a faster pace. Was that essentially what you were after?
Absolutely. Just wanted to learn more of the ins and outs. I did it once on my own here, but how do I scale this and how do I go about it?
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you joined in 2021, and then what's been happening since?
So I went through the videos, learned a bunch of stuff, learned about the BRRRR strategy, So I said, you know what? This property that I bought it off the line of credit on my personal home. So this property was actually free and clear. So we decided to go ahead and refinance that property.
Nice.
And it came back appraised about $50,000 more than what we had totally invested into it. So we refinanced that. We put that onto a home equity line of credit so I can use to move forward. And it's with that home equity line of credit that we're able to purchase our 3 properties in 2022.
Wow, 3 properties.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, are they all single dwellings?
No. So the first one we bought was a duplex. So I took a little bit from that home equity line of credit to use as down payment. We financed the rest with the bank. And then we bought a triplex. And the triplex, interesting story with the triplex, I was going to do the same idea, use a little bit for the down payment. We had approval from the bank. So I removed the conditions, and then the bank came back and says, no, you're advancing too quickly here. We're not going to approve it. So I just switched gears and just take what I had on my line of credit to purchase the property. So we purchased it, and then I did my renovations, and 6 months later, I did the BRRRR on it. I flipped it and got it refinanced and paid back my line of credit.
Wow.
And then moved on to another property in December, the fourplex in December.
So you're going up by 1, 2,
right.
1, 2, 3.
Correct.
Oh, that's great. Okay. That's fantastic. So now you have these units. Are they all in near where you live? Or are they in different provinces? Or?
So the first one I bought is 10 minutes from home. The other ones are in the town that I grew up in the northern part of New Brunswick in Bathurst.
Okay. So do you have a property manager there overseeing your properties, or is it still close enough that you're able to self-manage?
I prefer the investing in New Brunswick simply because I like to self-manage. Okay. And I travel down to Bathurst about once a month anyway, I have relatives up there.
Nice.
So we go up often enough, so it's easy to manage for now.
It's a good excuse to go on a little trip, right? Check up on your buildings at the same time. And
absolutely.
Okay, excellent. So you grew fairly quickly. What was a roadblock that, as you did this, right, 7 extra units in a year, that you encountered? Because we love sharing the wins, but we also want to learn from roadblocks and all that as well.
Well, for myself, I think the experience was quite positive, and the roadblock that I really did hit was where the bank came back, and after I removed the conditions, and they kind of refused to go because I qualified financially, but they were just saying, you're advancing too quick, which I found that was quick. But our closing date was closed. I didn't have time to go reapply again with anybody else, so we moved forward and did it with the line of credit, which kind of put me a little bit on hold because I tied up all of that amount. But again, we refinanced it within about 6 months, so it was good and allowed us to continue. So I'm at the point now. So the home equity line of credit is used, and is invest. Now I need to move forward, looking more for more OPM.
More OPM. So that's one way of doing OPM, which is great, right? It's right there sitting for you. Why not use it? But now you want to do some owner financing or secured funds or promissory note in 2023. Is that kind of your goal for this year?
Absolutely.
Love it. Okay, so you talked on the BRRRR strategy, and for those listeners who go on, what's BRRRR? What exactly? It's buy, repair, refinance, rent. So BRRRR. So basically, you're taking underperforming property, you do some repairs on it, you refinance it, or you rent it out, and then you refinance it as well. Now, is that what you want to do moving forward as well? It sounds like are you fairly handy? Is this something that you have natural skills on, or was this all new to you to do repairs?
No, the repairs I do myself. I am handy, so I enjoy doing the repairs myself. I'll contract out what I have to contract out, like major electrical or anything like that. But there's a lot of the stuff that I do on my own, and I kind of enjoy the work as well. So
nice. It's nice if you're able to, right? And that way, you can save a little bit. When we first started, we're both not very handy, so we didn't do a lot of the repairs unless it was very basic things. I remember Dave YouTubing how to change a toilet so we could change the toilet. I did some basic paint and all that. But after a while, I did do the self-managing, the whole property management as well, which gave me some really good, strong experience. But then as you grow your portfolio, if at some point you can become more hands-off, then because you have income coming in from all these properties, you'd be able to do that. So I'd love to, I know you gave a number on one deal earlier, but I'd love to analyze if you have another one a little bit more on either the duplex or the triplex or the fourplex, if you're willing to share a little bit. Why did you go after those ones? What were so attractive, and what, just generally speaking, the numbers look like?
The numbers made sense, right? So if I look at the triplex, The triplex needed some work, but I was able to get that one for 143,000. So, which was
Nice.
was a pretty good deal.
Was it listed? Was it with an agent or was it off market deal?
It was through Marketplace.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
There you go. Finding
the
deals off market. Yes.
Yeah, both the duplex and the triplex were both off of Marketplace.
And okay, and I want to pause on this, and way to go, Roger. You know I'm gonna love this because it's a numbers game, right? Like if you're only looking through, say, realtor.ca or realtor.com, or you're only using MLS to find deals or only working with an agent, you're definitely missing out on opportunities, right? I mean, it's a numbers game. If Roger's looking at 20 deals and you're looking at 3, who's going to win? So I love that I'm sure you obviously work with investor focused agents as well, but also finding off market deals as well. So, okay. So you found this off market, $143,000 that was the purchase price?
Correct.
How much were they asking for it?
They were asking, I didn't go down by much. They were asking 145. So they already weren't asking a whole lot for it. And so we dropped it down by a couple of $1,000.
Right. Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes that's irrelevant as well, right? The asking price, like I could be asking $1 million. It doesn't even matter, right? Well, what is it worth? What is the value of it? I'm sure you use our cash flow matrix. Are the pillars green? Are they red? Does it make financial sense to invest in it? So, okay. So a couple $1,000 off, $143,000. And did it need a lot of work? Did they already have tenants in? What did that look like?
There was tenants. One tenant moved out as soon as the owner sold the property.
Oh, okay.
So it's one of the units that I wanted to renew, so it was renovate. So it worked out perfectly.
Okay,
So
nice.
I went in, I renovated that one, and then the other tenant, he was open to moving away as well because I want to do some renovations. So I did some big renovations in both the basement apartments in that unit.
Okay.
And the lady who lived upstairs, she saw the renovations I was doing downstairs and liked what I was doing. So she was completely game to bump up her rent for some renovations there also. So I did some renovations while she lived there. And
I love that. Like, think about that. I want listeners to think about that because often it's like, oh, well, you can't just kick tenants out. And no, we can't. You have to follow regulations. You don't just want to up the rents for no reason. That's not how we suggest that you do business.
Right.
But in this case, the other tenants left anyway. So perfect opportunity to do some renovations. You obviously did a great job at it with the value and the look of it. That person upstairs said, hey, I'm willing to do this. And that happens. Doesn't happen all the time, of course, but we've had that as well where we made it a win-win, right? If I put more money into it and they get to stay where they love, but they get some new designs and new countertops and new fridge, those kind of things. I mean, you have to, on that note, of course, you have to maintain the property, right? Fixing a toilet is not part of increasing rent, but when it comes to when it comes to the look of the property, essentially, right?
Absolutely. Modernized it quite a bit and made it a lot more what she wanted. And she was happy with it because if I would be looking somewhere else for an apartment that I would like, I would have to pay that amount anyway. So you know what? I'm happy to have it here and stay here and not have to move. So it was a win-win.
Nice. Absolutely. Well, good for you. Great negotiating skills there, Roger.
Yeah, that worked out good.
Perfect. Okay, so you did the renovations, and how long did that take you to renovate the 3? Because you work full time as well, right? Right now.
That's correct. Yeah, I work full time. Okay. So I went over there and I took one of the apartments, and I was sleeping there and doing some of the renovations and working my 9 to 5 during the day and doing the renovations at night and weekend. I took a little bit of time off as well to complete the task as fast as possible. Right. So one of the apartments I was able to get things done in 2 weeks. The other one took me about three weeks to get the other apartment plus the renovations upstairs.
Wow.
So,
you're a quick contractor. You're handy and quick.
Try to get it moving. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, that's great. And that's often the case when we start in real estate, right? Like we have full-time jobs. We can't leave yet because we're just starting to grow our portfolio, and you put a little bit of time in it for the long term of it as well. So, okay. So you put some of your own time in it. You put some, you said you put some money into it. I don't know if you mentioned how much.
Yeah, we put about 44,000 into it.
44 into it. Okay.
And then when we refinanced it, the appraisal came back lower than I was expecting. However, the appraisal covered all the costs of the acquisition as well as the renovation, so it was great. And just cash flow is nice now. Okay,
perfect. So not a huge appreciation yet, but I mean, it's only a year ago, not even.
That's correct.
But you got into it without using your own funds because you leveraged from the other property. and now now it's beautified. So over time, of course, it's going to be worth more.
Absolutely.
And now you increase your cash flow as well.
That's win. It's perfect. It was a great opportunity.
I love that. I love that. What's your 2023 goals? Do you have a certain goal that of a number of properties you're hoping to buy, or location or price point or anything like that?
I like to stay in New Brunswick. I mean, a lot of investors are looking into New Brunswick, so why would I move elsewhere, right? Everyone wants yours.
Yeah.
But I definitely like to go into larger units. So I don't know. I'd like to know my next one to be an 8 or 10 unit or something like that, and just continue building from there.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's great. I love it. Love it. Now, and is this something that you're doing solely on your own? Do you have people helping you as well, or you're going at this alone?
It's pretty much just myself and my wife so far.
So the two of you are doing that. Now, is she very involved in all this, or is it just
not a whole lot?
The dividing conquer.
She's involved where she says, I like that property, I don't like that one.
Well, you know what? I would say that's a lot, because sometimes that's enough to veer the decision.
You're correct. Keep me honest, right?
Exactly. That's great. And there's nothing wrong with dividing and conquering. We divide as well within our own business, because it just, you need to sometimes.
Absolutely. And give her credit. She's out there as well whenever we can go out there, and she's helping to do some of the labor. She's there to help as well.
Okay, so she's not afraid to get her hands dirty.
No, not at all.
I love it. Awesome. Great. That's awesome. And thank you for sharing those numbers with us as well. So let's dive right into the real deals questions as well here. Number one, what's your biggest real estate investing mistake?
Actually, you know what? I would say my biggest mistake since joining the Action family is probably not reaching out and making enough connections. In real estate investing, as you know, a lot of us know, it's huge, and making good connections. We all know that your network is your net worth. And being more of the introvert that I am, I seem to struggle a little bit with that, but reaching out. However, when I've reached out, it's always been extremely positive, and I've enjoyed it very much. And I enjoy speaking with others and sharing the journey. So, I just need to push myself more to do that, so that I can, when I'm looking for other people's money or whatever, that they understand more what I'm doing, and see who's going to be a best fit. So I would say that would probably be my biggest mistake so far, is not reaching out enough.
Okay, but you're correcting that, because right here, right now, you're
absolutely
on my show, which is awesome. Thank you for being here. And I will be making sure and looking in there and make sure that you're interacting with other people. But it's so true. There's always a reason to network. Some people do live Zooms together. Some people do location get together, and just being able to learn from each other, and sometimes just need to, people want to help, right? If I have a question for somebody else would want to answer, and vice versa, right? It really is a community, and it does help fast forward your growth as well. And when it comes to creative financing, this is also important. And it's so funny how it works. Well, not funny, more like fascinating how it works, because I'll see one person asking a question, this Action family member helping out this person. All of a sudden, this other Action family member will help that person because they got to know, like, and trust them a little bit. Like, it's like this, and you don't know exactly how it's going to happen. You can't predict how it's going to happen, but we see it happening all the time. So Roger, I'm fully on board with you. Be active inside the community. There's lots of topics, of course, ongoingly. So I'll continue, and I know you have been more and more. So yes, I can definitely continue to do so.
Great. I love getting pings from people that are reaching out. So anybody wants to reach out, I'm always available. Well,
there we go. There you go. You'll be a popular guy. Mm-hmm. You can share this inside the Action family if you want afterwards. So once it's posted, so we'll go check you out. So awesome, Roger. Okay, question number 2. What's one tip you would like to share with our listeners?
I would say, people say it all the time, you just need to take action. Sitting on the sidelines is not going to get you anywhere. And you don't have to start with a big deal. As you saw, I got started with a property that cost $150,000. So it's not a huge deal. But you find the right property. It could be a small one. It gives you some cash flow, or gives you some lift or whatever. And you just keep moving on from that and keep building. So it's just about taking action.
So how did you do that? Like, how did you, and I love that, of course, I love the word action. That's why it's called the Action family, because without action, there's no results. Right. But how did you do that? Like, when you decide, okay, I'm going to join Mel and Dave, I'm going to get educated, go do this, but then you can watch all my videos, you can ask us questions, but at some point you got to take that action. Like, when did that mindset shift happen, or was it something you always kind of had?
I've always had interest, in real estate, and just didn't know how to go about it. And after we got that first property and we saw what we did there, I said, you know what, I need to learn more. And that's what it is. It's like, I need to learn, I need to take the action. Just trying to do things on my own, I probably don't have the knowledge that I need to get to where I want to be. So
Right.
making the investment into joining the program, and there's different programs that people can invest into. It's just about educating yourself and knowing where to go, giving you some guidance, and that's what I got.
I love it. Well, now members are gonna, or those listeners are gonna want to also get a hold of you, Roger. What's the best way to contact you?
You can always contact me through Facebook, or if anyone wants to, if you can't find me on Facebook for whatever reason, you can contact me through email at DARO, so Darrow Properties @gmail.com.
Fantastic. Great. Well, thank you so much, Roger, for being on our show. Any final thoughts or tips that you wanted to share with anyone before I let you go?
You know what? It's been a great experience, and anyone that's thinking about getting on board, by all means, do it. It's life changing, and it definitely can help secure your future. And I'm looking forward to hopefully early retirement, which would be awesome. So definitely get on board and give it a try.
I love it. Do it. That reminds me back when we wrote our first book years ago, and we were going through this session together and kind of figuring out what we wanted at the end of the book, the message we really wanted, and we were thinking about our kids as well, because this was something that would be documented in a way for our kids as well. And that's exactly what I had written, was that I wanted was do it because you can. Because anybody can, right? You just need to take action and have the resources and knowledge. So love that. Well, Roger, Absolutely. It was so nice. So nice seeing you. I hope we'll be able to see you live at our Action Family reunion coming up this September. But continue to take action, continue to be active and network inside our program. And I can't wait to see what you'll do next.
Excellent. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Awesome. My pleasure. Okay.
All right.
Bye, Roger.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Roger, for being on my show and sharing some great tips with our listeners today. Leveraging OPM, even if it's through one of your current properties, is very powerful. You can see how quickly he was able to grow his portfolio by doing so. And if you want to find out more real estate investing strategies, then make sure to check out this next video. But before we do that, since you stayed right till the end, I would very much appreciate a little thumbs up on this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.